Hello everyone and welcome back to my new video. You are watching Sports Within Sports. Now, let's get into the video. Professional athletes are the embodiment of power, grace, and skill. They are the peak of physical fitness and perform at the highest level for the world's enjoyment. Likewise, they are also human and are prone to the same mistakes and lapses of judgment that us mere mortals face on a daily basis. For professional athletes, their mistakes are broadcasted on live television and will live in infamy for the rest of their lives. Without further ado, let's dive into those mistakes. Number 10. Patrick Stefan and the empty net whiff. It is possible to have a list of the biggest sports blunders without including this dandy from former first overall pick Patrick Stefan. I mean, you know your career was bad when the biggest highlight is you not scoring. Stefan is one of the worst busts in draft history, and this clip is a perfect illustration of this tumultuous career. The fact that he woefully misses the empty net only to see Ales Hemsky tie the game with seconds remaining is just perfect poetic penance for Stefan as he retired 13 games later. Number 9 is the old MLB guy Jose Canseco and the header home run. Jose Canseco will always get the last laugh about this video. After all, he is a two-time World Series champion, former American League MVP, 6-time All-Star, and 4-time Silver Slugger winner. Regardless, the sheer improbability and hilarity of this clip make it one of the most all-time best baseball bloopers. The saving grace is that this was during a meaningless regular season game in May. It was the 25th anniversary of this clip just last week. Patrick Roy and the Statue of Liberty. The Colorado Avalanche and Detroit Red Wings had one of their best rivals in NHL history during the 1990s and early 2000s. Entering the 2002 Stanley Cup playoffs, the two teams were tied at 2 cups apiece in the past decade before matching up in the conference finals. The Avalanche jumped out to a 3-2 series lead and had a chance to finish the series off at home in Game 6. Instead, Patrick Roy tried to showboat after robbing Steve in a close buried that turned out to be the game-winning goal. The Red Wings went on to win Game 7 by a score of 7-0 and defeated the Carolina Hurricanes in 5 games to win their 3rd cup in 6 years. Big deal, people. Big deal. Number 7, we have Leon Lett's Super Bowl fumble. See, if the Cowboys went on to lose this game, then this could perhaps be the biggest blunder ever. But they were playing the Buffalo Bills, so obviously they were up by 35 points at this time in the game. Lett could realistically make another appearance on this list for his Thanksgiving Day debacle against the Miami Dolphins. But since it was in the regular season, I decided to leave it out. Instead, we are blessed with this tasty gem that looks like it is straight out of Madden 18. Lett, being the showman that he is, decided to start celebrating his forthcoming touchdown at the 10-yard line. Unfortunately, Don Beebe definitely had the Bills covering plus 40 as he hustled his butt and stripped Lett right before the goal line. Number 6 is J.R. Smith is off his henny again. This is fantastic. This is what inspired me to do this list in the first place. J.R. Smith has always been a bit of a wild card on the court. This man will hit a half-court heave with a hand in his face, but brick the most open jumper the world has ever seen. Furthermore, he has many fantastic off-the-court hits, such as his shirtless appearance during the World Series, and everyone's favorite DM, "You trying to get this pipe?" That's a little inappropriate for me, but hey. All things aside, Smith has proven to be a serviceable player over the course of his NBA career, and he played a big role during the Cavs' 3-1 comeback in the 2016 NBA Finals. Well, last night he had one of his biggest blunders in NBA history, and it could not come at a more costly time for his team. The Warriors opened the game as 13-point favorites over the Cavs, and many people thought that the Dubs would steamroll their way to another championship. Instead, LeBron does put up 49 points during regulation, which gave the Cavs a chance to win Game 1. George Hill went to the foul line with 4.7 seconds left and hit his first free throw to tie the game at 107. He bricked the second, but thankfully J.R. Smith was there to collect the rebound and kick it to LeBron James for a game-winning shot opportunity. Oh, sorry, wait a second. J.R., a man who has played 13 seasons in the NBA and makes an annual salary of about $12.8 million USD back at this time, actually thought that the Cavs were in the lead and tried to dribble the clock out. I have coached grade 6 kids in minor league basketball who had better late game awareness than JR did in that current situation. It was a pretty hysterical moment in Cavs history. Number 5 is Fred Bounds forgets who he plays for. Poor Fred Brown. After some guy named Michael Jordan knocked down a 17-footer to give UNC a late 63-62 lead in the 1982 National Championship, Brown brought the ball up to the court for the last gasp attempt at stealing a victory after faking a pass to teammate Eric Floyd. Brown thought he had Eric Smith open at the top of the key. Instead, Brown made a worse visual decision than I did the last time I took a girl home from the bar and passed the ball straight to UNC's James Worthy, which effectively ended the game. Brown and Georgetown would avenge their demons in 1984 as they knocked off Houston to win their first national championship, but this blunder still lives large in the minds of Hoyas faithful. Number 4 is Steve Bartman becomes the most hated man in Illinois. We all know the Bartman story. The Chicago Cubs is a team seemingly cursed from ever winning the World Series again. Were up 3-2 in the 2003 National League Championship Series against the Florida Marlins. They were searching for their first title since 1908 and were up 3-0 in the 8th inning of Game 6. Luis Castillo hits a fly ball towards foul ground as outfielder Moises Alou starts to track it. Instead of Alou catching it for the second out of the inning, this odd-looking fellow wearing headphones reaches over the wall and interferes with the catch. As bad luck would have it, the Cubs went on to surrender 8 runs in the inning before losing Game 7 by a score of 9-6. Bartman instantly became the most hated person in the stadium and eventually in the city, as he was sent a multitude of death threats during the whole situation. But hey, the Cubs rectified it and won. Chris Webber tries to be the Prince of Persia for our number 3. First off, for those uncultured swine who don't know what the Prince of Persia is, it is an older video game series where the protagonist has the ability to rewind time and correct his mistakes. Chris Webber certainly wishes he had that capability after his colossal choke job. It was the 1993 National Championship game. Michigan had made it all the way back to the finals after being manhandled by Duke in the championship the year before. Webber hauls in the rebound with 20 seconds left in the 73-71 game. He clearly walks the ball, but the officials do not call the travel. He proceeds past half court, gets cornered with the ball, and looks at the official to reset and call timeout so that they can draw up a play to tie the game. Except Michigan had no timeouts remaining, which meant UNC automatically got to shoot 2 technical foul shots, effectively ending the game. It was a painful loss for the Wolverine fans and haunted Webber for the entirety of his playing career. But he made the Hall of Fame, so I'm sure he's fine. Number 2, we have Bill's Buck-Up. We've talked about the Cubs' curse already, but the Red Sox endured a lengthy World Series drought of their own. The Red Sox were up 3-2 in the 1986 World Series against the New York Mets. Game 6 was tied at 5-5 in the bottom of the 10th inning. Mets left fielder Mookie Wilson hit a slow roller towards Buckner on the first base line, which should have been the third out of the frame. Unbelievably, Bucker fails to get his glove under the ball and it rolls past him, bringing in the winning run and sending the series to a deciding Game 7. The Red Sox ended up blowing a 3-0 lead in that game and ultimately lost 8-5 as the Mets won their second World Series in franchise history. The curse continued for 18 more years before the Red Sox finally won in 2004 to end the 86-year drought. It was a fantastic time to be a Red Sox fan. Now, number 1, Pete Carroll and the worst play call ever. Yes, the worst blunder on my list is actually a coach's decision. With just 26 seconds remaining, the Seahawks are 2 yards away from winning back-to-back Super Bowl. For inexplicable reason, Pete Carroll decides to throw the ball even with bruising running back Marshawn Lynch lined up on Russell Wilson's left. Lynch was arguably the best goal line back in the entire league, and the Seahawks were in their 94 buck formation, which was a running formation. Still, Carroll changed the play to a pass, and the rest is history. Patriots cornerback Malcolm Butler jumped Jermaine Kearse and picked the ball off at the goal line to give the Patriots the unlikeliest of wins. It is one of the most mind-boggling decisions ever made at such a high level and prevented the Seahawks from becoming a possible dynasty. That is all for today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like, and if you are new, then don't forget to subscribe. See you to the next video, and thank you for watching.